But let me know in the comment section, what do you think about some of these naughty nurses? And have you ever been, now you might not want to incriminate yourself now. You ain't got to put if you ever been in these situations, but maybe what are some things that you've seen nurses do, or what have you heard about with nurses as far as losing their license or being on probation and all of that jazz? Have you ever been on probation? What's some tips, some things that you can do for other people to help them out? Let me know in the comment section. Okay. Respondent failed to check in with the NTS on 3 days and checked in outside. Okay, so NTS is like, do they have it here? Basically like narcotics something. Basically it's like where nurses go if they've had any type of issues with like drugs, alcohol, things like that. They have to report. It's basically like parole, you know, like when you gotta go to your PO and you gotta drop for your PO. It's like that for nurses, I believe. But anyhow, they failed to check in for 3 days and check inside of the required time window on 3 days. Okay, so that was in August. Now in addition, on June of another year, respondent reported to a lab and submitted the required sample, which showed a low creatinine reading of 2.4. Okay, on August of that year, respondent reported to a collection site to provide a sample, and the samples tested positive for ethylglucuronide or ETG, a metabolite of alcohol. So basically the person was on probation because they were probably coming to work drunk. It says when contacted, responded denied drinking. So with the low creatinine, it was probably in kidney failure. It was probably in kidney failure, y'all, or having issues with their kidneys. That's sad. Like when you hear about like issues with, you know, substances, I feel like it's, and then the person still tests positive for it. That right there, like I made video about like nurses and how nurses be stealing stuff, and stealing narcs and things like that. But when it comes to, like, it's all kiki or whatever, but honestly, y'all, it's a problem, it's an issue. And I just hope, like, when I see something, I just be like, dang, I just really wish that people could get the help that they need. And usually the help that they need is not just, you know, it's deeper, because usually if people have issues with substance abuse, that's something that's coming from their childhood, probably childhood trauma they have not worked through, and then it's spilling it's to the point where now as an adult you have this license that you worked so hard for, and you're willing to basically let it go because of this substance. And it's not just the substance, it's what the substance is probably helping you to numb yourself to, right? Helping you to cover up how you really feel or what's really going on in your mind, and that you don't want to face, what demons you don't want to face. So I feel like it is sad, but I do think it's good that the State Board of Nursing does try their best to help people, because even this person, they're on probation. They still have not lost their license. They went on probation from January of 2022, and they just got off their probation, to January of 2023. 2021, 22. Yeah, they gave them 3 years of probation. Dang, that's a long time. And they try to give you time, like you can still have your license, she can still come back and work. But I wonder, you would still have that on your license though, right? That you've had disciplinary action. Or once you come out, does it completely lift off? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section. Like, is it kind of like when you go to jail or prison, like they still consider you like a convicted felon? Or when you're done, you're off of your probation, do they just see it as a regular license? It doesn't have like a little like mark on it. Let me know what y'all think. Or does that happen? Let's see. We're kind of getting into the issues with narcotics. I can see going into here. During the evening of April until the morning of that next day, licensee was assigned to a young patient in their home. Licensee was awakened 3 different times during the shift by the patient's family member. Dang. Licensee admitted to falling asleep while caring for the young patient, claiming the patient was restless, so she crawled into bed with him to comfort him, and she fell asleep. Licensee further admitted to routinely documenting treatments that may not have actually occurred. Well, dang. Like, how bold do you have to be to get into somebody's bed, fall asleep, not once, not twice, but 3 times, and then on top of that, you chart that you did everything. Dang, this person ended up getting their license on probation from 2020 to 2023 too. Wow. 3 years because of that? Whoa. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Sheesh. Okay, so on that day, March of that year, I don't want to put all the years and specifics and stuff, but anyway, licensee misread chart notes for a patient's allergy shot. The chart stated 0.05 mLs, and licensee administered 0.5 mLs. Licensee recognized the error approximately 30 minutes after patient left. So that was in March. September of that same year, licensee failed to verify that they had the correct patient from the lobby. In turn, licensee administered 2 vaccines to the wrong patient. God dang. Then on April of the next year, licensee failed to look at the immunization schedule tab and administered Tdap to a patient that had previously received Tdap December of the year before that. This patient was not due for the vaccine like licensee had thought. God damn. So do you work like at a clinic or something? Like, that's why you're giving all these immunizations and everything? Like, that's your only job? I mean, I get it though. It can happen. I'm not saying it can't happen. But dang. Okay. So they gave the wrong dose. They gave 2 vaccines to the wrong patient. And then the next time they gave an immunization to a patient who had already received the immunization. So this is the issue of not taking your time to read orders, not taking your time to verify that the patient is the patient that you need to give it to, and also not taking the time to verify what has been already administered to the patient. Yeah, I can see why this person had their license on probation from 2019 to 2021. And y'all, if these are the issues that have been reported, because this person reported this, which, you know, you should report issues that you make, you know, med orders that you make. You should. If this was what was reported, what do you think was happening during COVID? What y'all think was happening when nurses was going to completely different states, taking care of people in facilities they have they don't know nothing about? Agency nurses, like even staff nurses that didn't know stuff, like being pulled and all this, and on top of, you know, the overpopulation and the low staff in these facilities. What do y'all think was happening? Other like healthcare, it's kind of just like do the best you can. Try not to harm your patients as much. Like the least amount of harm you can put on a person. Like, try your best. But if this is what was reported, what do you think wasn't reported? Let's go to something else. Let's look at the people who actually had their licenses revoked. Okay. These are people that's getting their stuff revoked because of like substance abuse. But this one look a little juicy. Okay, let's see. One of respondents' patients had suffered a traumatic brain injury. All right. And was cognitively impaired. The patient had been deemed incapacitated and disabled and has a court-appointed guardian and conservator. Okay, so between or about June of that year to July of that year, respondent and the patient exchanged approximately 1,480 text messages between June and July. It's like, this is not even a whole month, y'all. This is about 2 weeks of time. Golly, 1,480 text messages. The text exchange between respondent and the patient were of an expressingly sexual nature and each party sent messages to the other referencing sex and sexual acts. Some of the texts that the respondent sent the patient reference specific sexual activity between the respondent and the patient. So that means like they was like, remember that time I did this? Remember that time you did that? Okay. Other texts that respondents sent the patient were verbally abusive and or threatening, instructed him to not tell anyone else about their relationship. On or about September of the next year, so this had been already going on, dang. So September of the next year, respondent provided a statement to the board as a part of an application to become licensed as a registered nurse, expressly admitting, I admitted that I engaged in text messaging with a patient that included inappropriately explicit sexual content. Why would you put that in a letter? I don't understand why that happened. They missing out some stuff that happened. What else happened? Like, why would they send a letter to somebody saying you want to get an RN license and put that you admit to engaging in text messages like that? Okay, so this person's license was revoked in 2019. Sheesh. My thing is that the patient is incapacitated. I guess they was cognitively impaired, but still enough to actually hold a conversation and to do stuff. Sheesh. Yeah, they needed there's no probation for that. Like that's no probation for that. Have y'all heard of patients and nurses, having relations? Let me know. Spill the tea, honey. Let's see. Let's look at this. On or about July of that year, respondent received notice that a resident was returning to the facility from a hospital. In anticipation, respondent pre-popped a hydrocodone tablet for the patient. Respondent was subsequently informed that the patient would not be returning to the facility that evening. Respondent documented wasting the hydrocodone. On or about June, so like 2 days later, respondent attempted to contact the nurse whose signature she had forged to cover up her contact. Dang. Respondent was terminated on or about that same day, dang, for signing another nurse's name in the narcotics book. Respondent later admitted to the board's investigator that she had pre-popped the hydrocodone and forged the signature of her fellow nurse to falsely indicate that the nurse had witnessed the waste. You did all that for one pill. You lost your license for one pill? For one pill? That's crazy. So yeah, they had their license revoked in 2019. This person pled guilty to statutory, and lost their license too. So something had happened. Oh gosh. Okay, let's see what else happened. Okay, let's look at this one. All right, it's long, but stay with me. Okay, count 1. At all times relevant to this count, respondent was employed as a registered nurse, and they even got the name of the facility. Shoot. A routine audit conducted by the place in May revealed that the medication transactions for controlled substances posted by the respondent could not be verified through patient chart review for administration, return, or waste. So they showed stuff was happening, like say it was like a Pyxis or something. They showed that pills were missing or whatever, but there was nothing in the chart that showed that it was administered, that it was waste, that it was returned back, whatever, to the pharmacy, which, pharmacies don't take narcs anyway. But anyways, on or about March, so that was May, so March of that same year, respondent removed fentanyl 100 micrograms per 2 ml injection, but did not document the administration. Oh, so they removed. So when they say remove, they mean like there's like this chart or this book or something that will show you like, okay, this is the record of all the narcotics that we have, right? And say, for instance, the patient passes away, you go ahead and you waste it, and you take all of that information that showed that the patient's like medication information in that binder, you take it out because you're not counting it anymore because you wasted it. So it said that they removed it. So I guess they took out the paperwork, did whatever they was going to do with it, but there's no record showing like why they took it out. So look, so that happened. So the respondent removed fentanyl injections but did not document the administration, waste, or return on or about. Additionally, the facility discovered that the respondent had not renewed her Missouri registered nurse license and had been working without a license from on or about April of that year to May of that year. Respondent subsequently admitted to the board's investigator that she had forgotten to document the administration, waste, or return of the fentanyl and morphine tablets. Respondent further admitted that she moved to a new residence in August of 2016 and that she failed to update the board of her new address. That was the first count. So this person probably had been, on probation for a little minute. That's why they keep giving them, chances. So the second count was, at all times relevant to this count, respondent was employed as a registered nurse at another place in Missouri. On or about September, while working a night shift, respondent was informed by a CNA that the CNA had pulled a call light off the wall of a resident so that the resident could not use it. God dang. As respondent was making rounds, she discovered that another resident's light had been unplugged. The resident stated that her call light had been pulled from the wall by the same CNA. Respondent failed to check all the call lights to ensure that all residents had functioning lights. Respondent did not send the CNA home. Respondent failed to alert any authorities that the CNA had been removing lights from residents' rooms and rendering residents unable to call for help in the event of an emergency. Dang! See, all the aides, this is why nurses be like, y'all working underneath my license. Because of stuff like this. Because the reason why this was even, the nurse didn't report that. The CNA, of course, didn't report that. The patients reported that. That one patient that was like, the CNA pulled it out my wall. That's the one who reported it. That's the one who reported it. Because ain't nobody else gonna report that. But places that I worked at, you pull it out the wall, that light that's gonna keep the light going. It's not gonna make it not work. It's gonna keep going off until you plug it back in, press the button, and be like, okay, call light off. So best way to keep a call light off is to go turn it off. That's the only way to keep it off. Okay, so this is count 3. So at all times this patient was a okay, y'all, here we go, staffing nurse. So she had worked a facility, had issues, I guess, and became a dang on agency nurse. Here we go. So this is count 3. The registered nurse was an agency nurse on assignment at this facility on or about January of the next year. So after all that stuff happened, it's January of the next year. Due to missing medications on the floor, respondent was working, contacted staffing agency requesting that respondent submit to a drug screen. Respondent submitted to the drug screen on the next day, January. Respondent's drug screen tested positive for amphetamine. Staffing agency and the drug testing company attempted to contact the respondent approximately 7 times regarding the drug screen, each time unsuccessfully. Respondent never responded to the staffing agency or the drug testing company regarding the positive drug screen. That's the 4th count. Oh my gosh, sheesh. Okay, this is count number, that's a 3rd count. This is count number 4. At all times relevant to this, this person was employed at a registered nurse, in a rehab facility on or about May of that year. So this all happened in January. Here it come May, they got hired, and it says that the nurse noticed 2 pills taped into the back of a blister pack of Percocet. Okay, The nurse determined that the pills were not Percocet, but were instead Tylenol 325. Child. An audit of narcotic blister packs on the unit revealed that 2 additional residents in the same unit had medication taped to the back of a blister pack that was not the medication that was supposed to be in the packs. A rehab audit, so an audit of this facility sustained that the misappropriation / use of resident controlled substances, including the 2 perks for resident 1, and then 1 perk for resident 2, and a narcotic for resident 3. Dang. Administrators discovered that the respondent had instructed another nurse to tape 2 perks to the back of the patient's blister pack, saying she had already administered the tabs to the patient. Then why are you taping them back in there? Okay. Respondent initialed the MAR, indicating that she had administered the 2 perks for patient 1 on or about that day in May. But the actual rehab facility determined the respondent taped the substitute medications in place of the NARS that were supposed to be in the blister packs. The rehab had multiple attempts to contact the respondent to provide a statement and to submit a drug test, but respondent did not respond and did not submit to the drug screen. Their license was revoked in 2019. That was a long explanation, child. So this person had 4 counts against their nurse's license. Dang. That's why this thing was so long. This part took up a whole page. What y'all think of that? What y'all think of that? Because I've known people to, just tape it, but they don't tape the wrong dang on meds in there. I don't know what they do. Y'all, when it comes to those pills, what they taught you in nursing school, don't give anything that you didn't see pop yourself, and do not allow other people to give your medications. Don't do it. And my thing is, if you the type of nurse that's like, oh, I gave your patient a pill, then you need to document all of that. I'm not touching none of it. I ain't like, oh, you gave it, okay, I'll sign. No, you sign it in the computer, sign on that piece of paper too that you gave it. That ain't got nothing to do with me. And I really don't even be trying to, like, if I'm the only nurse on the floor and the patient, like, I got the keys or whatever, patient's like, I need a pain pill, I'd be like, okay, I'll wait for your nurse to get here. I'm not even gonna try to, I'm gonna wait. Because I don't want to be in that mess. I don't want to be in that mess. Pop a perk. I'm not doing all that. When it comes to these pills, you gotta watch yourself. You really do. These people had their stuff suspended. So what's in between? Okay, revoked is completely taken. Suspended means just, I guess, until further notice, and then probation means you got some time. So I'm done looking at these. I think I have another one, hopefully, that I can find to do another video like this. Let me know what you all think. I'm very intrigued to know what you all think of this, how it looks. Do you get a little newsletter like that, Naughty Nurse newsletter? Yeah, I threw away like maybe 2 or 3 of them, and I'm like, dang, why did I throw these away? But for the longest, I know I wanted to do this video, so I got that one. I think I have another one somewhere else, and hopefully I get another one sent to me too. And these are also good because they have like information about what's going on in your state when it pertains to nursing. And in here it has this thing about, it says CBD oil in your nursing license. So I want to look at that and see like what they're saying about that when it comes to nurses and CBD and things like that. So I'll look through that, because in my area marijuana is legal in my area, but the employer, they can still say if they want you to be able to, if they want to test for it or not. All right, you all, thanks again for watching. Peace.